Here's a few words on enlightenment. I initially wanted to record only a short video today, but then I had a conversation with my friend right after I recorded the short video. So here is a bit longer format of the short video, and also at the end why I started recording this one. So first thing that I want to say about the enlightenment. Mostly, people think that it happens like in a flash or in a day or something like that. And I remember Eckhart Tolle saying that before his day of enlightenment, there was years of suffering. And somehow most people just get that day and think that it happens in a day. Well, I disagree, Without those years of suffering, I don't think he would be arriving to that day. For him, it happened like a flash. But I think mostly for people, it happens as a process, just like I had it. I didn't have a single day that I can just pinpoint, oh, that's the day where I got it. And no, it was a gradual process, a gradual shift that happened here and there, and pieces falling together. And what I wanted to say is a few things that changed for me after the enlightenment or the awakening, that buzzword that we all love to talk about and hear about. First thing would be that my lower back pain is still here after the enlightenment. It just happens to catch me here and there. And it can be quite painful from time to time, It depends on how much do I put on myself, how much obligations and tasks and everything else under the sun that I'm doing. And then my body reminds me, okay, you have done enough. And it does that in few ways, and one of the ways is a lower back pain. And the difference now and between, before the enlightenment would be that now I'm not identified with it, That's the key difference. The second one is the anxiety. It's still here. Sometimes it visits me. But the difference now is that I just watch it as clouds that are passing by on the sky. They come and they go, and then the sun appears again. Also, I don't identify with the anxiety. That's the main difference. It mainly is not as strong as it used to be, but yeah, it can be, depending on what I do. When I had a great change of two changes, like moving from one apartment to the another, and quitting my job, starting something privately, and then that private thing didn't go well. Well, I had huge amounts of anxiety, huge. And it took me quite a while to stabilize, to resolve it. And luckily I found another job and it stabilized. But you get my picture. I guess you get my picture. It depends on what you do in life. But mostly, yes, it diminishes through time. Anxiety diminishes through time. You handle things differently in your life. Now, another thing that changed is that I no longer need to explain myself, explain the changes that I do, decisions that I make. I no longer need your approval or anybody else's approval to do some decisions, to do some changes. Another thing would be that I no longer have a need to change your mind, to change you. I just say what I think, and I back it up with some reasoning. And then maybe if your reasons are better, I update. But if I judge that your reasons are not better, well, then we disagree. And that was the part that I spoke about in my short today. And then I had a conversation with my friend, and I decided, okay, let's just do this longer format, to explain a bit more, which I did, and to say a bit more about it. Now, we talked and exchanged messages, and she said that she is very fond of quantum physics, and she sees the quantum physics as a way to prove God's existence. And that just didn't feel right for me. I told her, I wrote her, okay, so we have billions of gray cells in our heads, and those gray cells produce some explanations and some mathematics and physics, and those billions are enough to prove infinite God. I just don't think so, you know. And then we continued the conversation, and she said, oh, I'm very passionate, as you can see, about the quantum physics, but you know, people are passionate about arts, and they discover God in arts, or they discover God in mathematics, or whatever else. And I said, okay, I can understand you better now. I was passionate that much about music or about shiatsu, but still, you know, you have to overcome this passion. Not overcome, it's not the right word. The quality of your passion towards this quantum physics needs to change. And this is something that I cannot exactly put in words to explain to you guys, to you people. This is something that you will have to experience for yourself. Once you pass that point that we call enlightenment or awakening or whatnot, then the quality of your passion towards the thing that drives you, that thing that makes you feel life, feel the universe, feel God and explain God and everything, then that shift happens. It doesn't mean that I lost the passion for music or passion for shiatsu or passion for being in nature. No, no, no. Something else has happened. And I went beyond. I went beyond that. I no longer need to explain existence, life, God. I no longer need proof, explanations that life is, that God is, that universe exists. Because I feel that we are limited with our explanations, with our concepts. It's words, it's concepts in our minds. And God is greater than that. God is greater. Life is greater than images, than sound, than smells, than concepts, than words. That's what I feel about when I think about God. You cannot exactly think about God. You'll have to go beyond thinking to feel life, to feel the universe, to just resonate with it, to stop explaining it, you know. That's the point that I'm talking about here. It's like that Tao Te Ching book, which, by the way, I never read. It's on my list to read it. But on the first page it says, true Tao cannot be spoken of. And that's what I hold truth. That you cannot be speaking about the truth. It's just, it's too big for us. And then the same book goes for thousands of pages or so to explain the truth, to explain the God. You know, and yes, we can talk, we can discuss, we can tell our points of view about the life and universe, but they're just points of view. It's not life, it's just tiny aspect of life, tiny aspect of God. It's like that story, I guess, from Buddhism. I guess, I don't know, I don't quite remember. It goes about the elephant and the blind people that come to an elephant, and then one of the men is touching him on the nose, the elephant, the other on the leg, and the other one on the tail. And each of those men, woman, whatever, are describing a different story, right? The one on the nose is saying, well, it's two holes here. The other one is saying, no, 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 it's something big, it's something round. And the third one says, no, 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 it's something flexible and something not so round. He's obviously at the tail. And then they go fight each other and they kill themselves to death. because that's what we do here. That's what we humans do here. We explain God, and the one sees it one way and the other one sees it the other way, and then we go fight each other. And I don't think that's what's meant here to be. I really don't think. I think we humans can do much greater than that. I think we are capable of understanding, of feeling what God is, of really touching that point beyond words, beyond concepts, beyond imagination, beyond sounds and smells and anything else that is in this physical, material domain. I think we are capable. What do you think? Are we capable? Let me know in the comments below. I'll leave it at that at this point, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.